Hey everybody, it's Ruthie here. We'll get started in just a few minutes. If you're on and watching already, would you please check in by just giving us a hi, you're here? And we'll get started with our Facebook Live. I'm really excited that you've tuned in, and or if you purchased a kit from me. I think they all got picked up. There's one out there still now, but I know she's coming by after work today to pick that up. So everybody got their kit, and we're going to get started. I've got some fun things to talk about, including the class. But is anybody on there yet? Hey, Mr. Mike, you can talk. Remember, this we banter back and forth on this.
I don't see anybody yet, but
Okay.
we're using a brand new solution, so I'm not sure if I can tell you who's on and who's off.
We have new technology we're playing with today, and we'll see how it goes. We think it's going to be a lot better, but we'll just have to see. I guess I could get started, Mr. Mike. I do want to remind everybody of our hostess code for the month of January. And if you are going to be ordering from me, I would appreciate it if you do it by this afternoon, so that I can close that one out. And then I'll be getting a new host code for the month of February on February the 1st. So I'll have that. We are going to be ordering. I already have several people signed up for the Hey Chick. So, Mr. Mike, are you pulling up my Hey Chick information?
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's go over that briefly. Hey Chick was a celebration set back in 2017. And they're bringing it back, and they came up with a die set to go with it. So cute. It has a barn, it has some chicken wire fencing, and corn on the cob. It's so cute. And a lot of you still had your Hey Chick stamp set, and so you were just going to be ordering the dies for that one. And the dies for the Hey Chick set are $32. Be sure you look at the U.S. prices, not the Canada prices. And so several of you have already told me that you want the Chick die sets.
So which one are you talking about right now?
The Hey Chick.
There's a Hey Chick and a Hey Chick birthday.
And a birth, yeah.
Are you
Hey
talking
Chick.
about both of them?
I'm just, yeah.
Okay.
So I just finished talking about the Hey Chick.
Got it?
Okay. And then Stampin' Up! Has, for celebration this year, sorry, not celebration, just as an adjunct, has come up with another set called Hey Birthday Chick. And it's a stamp set or as a bundle with the dies. And many of you have told me that you want that as well. The bundle price is $43. That gets you both the stamp set and the dies that go with it, which includes an adorable little seed sack and a little white picket fence that we've all wanted around our houses. That was our goal in life, to have a white picket fence. So I'm going to do a Hey Chick and Hey Birthday Chick class later in February, and we'll of course be using all of these sets and the dies, and we will be making birthday cards with all of these sets. So I hope that you will order these from me. I will get them ordered right on February 2nd as soon as they go available so that I can get them for you. And as a side note, these are during celebration. And so if your order comes to $50 or more, so pay attention to your retail price before tax and shipping. If it is $50, you get to pick a $50 celebration item. Or if it's $100, you can pick from the $100 selections. So please let me know that you want to order that within the next couple of days. Like I say, I'm going to order this on the 2nd. So I think that's going to be a really fun class, and a lot of you already have the Hey Chick stamp set. So, all right, Mr. Mike, let's show them what we're doing here. With our set Forever and Always, many of you ordered the bundle for me, and your class is free. You guys are picking up your kits. This is the stamp set, and then the framelets that are called Always dies are these right here, and it's really neat. They have a background for the word love. Here's the word love, and a background for the word always, and here's the framelit that cuts out the letters. You'll be seeing more of that in just a minute. And then also in this class, this is a die set from last year called Be Mine Stitched Framelits. And it has some hearts, both in plain and scalloped, two different shapes of hearts. And then what I used in the class was this set of hearts, and I wasn't sure if you all had this die set, so I went ahead and die cut these for you. They should be in your kit. You should just have one of these cut out in black. We'll be using that a little bit later. So I wanted to show you those, and these are current in the annual catalog called Be Mine Stitched Framelits. Okay, so you can look for those if you would like to have those as well. Let's see, so let's clear this away and I'll get started with my first card. Let you take a look at it first. Here we go. Is that on, Mr. Mike?
Yes, it is.
Has anyone checked in with us yet?
Can't tell.
Can't tell. Okay, we may have lost that availability, but to keep everything else running more smoothly. So this is the card I chose to make with Blushing Bride as the card base. And this polka dot paper is from the True Love Designer Series paper. And this little piece picking over here, I don't know if you can tell, it's ombre. It starts out very light and then it gets darker and really dark at the bottom. That came from the Oh So Ombre, or So Ombre. And that is a celebration selection. I'm trying to get it out of the package here so I can show you the papers. This is free with a $50 order. You get 48 sheets in the Rococo Rose, Rich Razzleberry, I think that is. It might be Blackberry Bliss. And then on the reverse, we've got some Bermuda Bay and Granny Apple Green. Aren't those beautiful? So the one I used, of course, is this one back here, the ombre. I used it this way with the lighter at the top and then the dark. A lot of great cards. You've seen a lot of cards, I'm sure, using the donkey and these fun papers. A lot of fun. So that's the So Ombre. I used a black piece of cardstock here, which is in your kit, but I did not run it through the embossing folder. I thought you could choose from home one of your own embossing folders to use. And I might as well start putting this card together with you. So the first thing I did was I took the strip of True Love Designer Series polka dot paper and attached it to the front of my card on the right side and the Oh So Ombre on the left. Then you're going to deal with your black strip here. I used the new Floral Art embossing folder on mine. In the original card I have the bumps facing up. On this one I decided to flip it over. I don't know if you can see that detail on here, but this is the opposite side. Here's the bumps, and then here's the indent.
Donna Vincent is on.
Oh, hello, Miss Donna. Thanks for joining. I don't know if you're doing your kit with us or if you're just watching first, but welcome. In your kit, I included an 18-inch piece of this twine that came in the Forever and Always suite. You actually got a package with two. The Blushing Bride and the white twine. So in your kit, I included a real long piece that should measure 18 inches. You're going to cut 6-inch segments of that, so you should get 3. And then on the back of my strip, I just put a little bit of regular adhesive, put my 3 pieces of twine over that, brought it across the front, and then on the other side, did it here as well. So that way you get 3 strings right there. Then in your kits, you have a small piece of the Blushing Bride cardstock, and I stamped the love on a white strip of cardstock, which you have, and then you have the framelits now to cut these out. You'll cut out the background in the Blushing Bride, and then you'll stamp the word love, and then go cut that out. Something really funny with this framelit I'm going to share with you. I cut it out, and it fell apart, and I was like, oh no, what did I do? The L is separate from the OVE, so don't be surprised when you cut that for the first time. Your L is going to fall off, but then it just fits really neatly on your little background piece. And if you'll notice here, I just used some regular adhesive behind the word love and hooked it with the L on the string. And
our,
then
our love never falls off. Just
our L never falls
Our
off
L
of
never
our
falls
love. Oh, honey. And then I used a dimensional behind the letter E here just to pop it up just ever so slightly. So now we're going to attach this to the front of our card. And I like to get my adhesive right to the edge. I think you all know that about me. If you don't put it on the edge, you've got chances of stuff lifting and causing a little air gap, which doesn't look professional. Okay. And this goes just a little bit to the right of the oso ombre. You could actually show as much or as little of that as you want. Okay, there we go. Then in your kit, I also gave you this flower instead of stamping it. This came from the designer series paper, the True Love. And I wanted to quickly review with you how to cut. There is no die cut for these two here. So I cut this right out of the paper. And when you cut, you're not doing a sawing motion or a clipping like this, you know, there, you know, you're not sawing through your paper. But if you will get your scissors in here up to the edge, you are doing all of the work with your left hand by rotating your work, and you're just applying even pressure to your scissors. That way you get a really nice smooth cut. I'm going to start here again and see, I'm just going to rotate with my left hand. That. And then see how I swiveled it around, and then we're going to cut around this leaf like that. And you'll get a much smoother cut rather than sawing at it or chopping. Let me get these scraps out of here. Okay, then we're going to color this, and I decided to color this with the new blending brushes. I think I've showed these to you before, but these just came out in the new mini catalog. And these are actually bristles. At first look, it looks like a sponge, but it's not. These are actual little individual bristles. And this one's a little bit stained. You can wash these right after you use them, and most of the ink comes out. And what we're going to do, I've got my Blushing Bride ink here. Of course, if you don't have Blushing Bride, you can substitute for any other color. Rococo Rose would look really nice if you've got that one. And I always get it loaded up with ink. And then you just swirl a little bit on some scrap paper to get it started like that. And I'm going to try to stay off the leaves this time. I kind of got it on my leaves, but you can just swirl that around, make it as dark or as light as you want. And you're not getting the whole thing colored, but it just gives it kind of a neat effect. Okay? And no two are going to come out the same. Okay, I hope they come up with some smaller ones, because now I'm going to show you how to do the leaves. Close Blushing Bride up. Here's my Granny Apple Green. This is the color I used for the leaves. And of course, only when we're on camera do my ink pads start to give us trouble.
Always.
Always. So here's a second one. When you order these, you get 3 of them for $12, which I think is a pretty nice price. So I'm kind of doing this on the tip this time, and I'm going to try and come in and do my leaves without getting it on my flower this time. And just kind of starting there and flicking it that way. Kind of works best rather than the circular thing. There, we've got the leaves without pink on my flower.
Flicking a word?
Flicking is a word.
Can I make it? I'm going to look that up.
You're going to look that up?
Yeah.
I think it is a word, Mr. Mike.
Okay.
All right.
You know the word gullible is not in the dictionary?
Not going to get me. So, there's our flower, and of course this one looks just a little bit different. And you're going to attach this to your black strip on the front. I just used regular adhesive. So I'm going to run that across there 3 or 4 times. And set him in here. Now I know if you ordered from me, you also ordered the black matte dots, which we are going to use on our other projects, but I didn't use it on this one because there's already so much black. But I just used some regular bling, put 1 down here and 2 up here. Now in your kit you also have a 12-inch piece of the Blushing Bride twine, and you're going to cut that into 3 4-inch segments. How are we doing, Mr. Mike? Is everything on camera? And
I think so.
okay.
Donna Vinson's the only one who's responded.
Okay.
So she's the only one that I know is on it. But
Well,
I can't see who's on. I can only see if they have a comment.
got you. Okay. So there may be people not making comments, and or I know I've got some people that work, and so they're going to do this after. The nice thing about my kits, ladies, is you don't have to see the Facebook Live to do them. With each kit, you get full instructions. So like here's the full instructions. I give you the measurements of everything that I've used and full instructions on how to put the card together. So you don't necessarily have to be on the Facebook Live.
So I don't have to listen to you to do this?
You don't have to listen to me to do this. That is.
Can I reapply that to other parts of our lives?
Nope. Mr. Mike, this is the love class.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Show me some love, not so. All right, in your kit also, and it may have fallen out and in the bottom of your bag, but I included the little heart charms. These are also current in the mini catalog. You get, here's the little container they come in, and I forget how many are in there. Oh, I don't have that information, but there are several. There are several in there, and they're just a cute little, they're nice and rounded, they're not sharp or anything. And so after you've cut your 3-4-inch strips, and because I'm on camera, mine's a little bit longer so that I can tie this knot, you're just going to run
Cheater.
these. I know,
Cheater.
I'm cheating. Give myself a little bit of extra. On camera, Mr. Mike, I don't know if you know this, that's when everything goes wrong.
Oh, okay.
So at home, in your own studio, all this stuff goes together pretty uneventful, but when you're on camera, stuff happens.
So you're being wasteful on camera.
I'm being wasteful just so I can tie this knot.
Well, you've got glasses on, so you should be able to.
I know, but still, it's just fumble, bumble. It's got to be long enough.
We'll get a shot of your expression and see how frustrated you are as well.
I'm not frustrated because I have a little extra to work with.
No, don't. We're watching your grimace face while you do this.
No, you really need to have it on the work.
Oh, I do. I have it on the work too.
Okay,
There we
so
go.
I tied a knot, so that's not a knot there, and that could easily come undone. So do another to make it a full knot. You don't want that heart charm sliding off at the most inopportune moment.
Why not?
Because it would be sad.
Why not?
Okay, so you could leave these tails. Of course, mine are a little bit longer, or you can just then come in with your snips and cut those
So wasteful.
to whatever length you want. That's not that much waste. Okay, so I've got my charm tied on there, and then you could put your bling on here as well. On the inside of the card, I from the same stamp set, I stamped "You so very much." So this says "Love you so very much." And here's my blushing bride again. I'm going to see if I've got enough ink in it. And I don't want to get the green on the back of my card. Oh, and then you're just going to take your blending brush here again and get you a little bit of pink just to color that flower. Okay? All right, let's move on. We only have 20 more minutes on a Facebook Live, so I'm going to...
No, you've gone 20 minutes.
Oh, I've gone 20 minutes. How long do I have, Mr. Mike?
I don't know.
Oh,
I think
okay.
until you stop talking.
Oh, really? Okay, well then I can... Awesome.
Or 5 minutes, whatever comes first.
Right. So here's our second card. And this is again Designer Series paper from the True Love Designer Series paper. This time we are stamping the flowers you should have in your kit, and I labeled them for you. One that you'll stamp the 2 flowers and the Forever and Always on. We're going to die cut that in just a minute. This time I colored my flowers with the blends, and I used the dark from Lovely Lipstick. I did it first near the bottom. I'm going to show you quickly, just right around here, kind of swirl that around. And then I came in with the dark Magenta Madness, and then you would just blend that in right on top of it and go a little bit higher. Okay. And then the third blends that I used is the light Magenta Madness. And then you can take that up a little higher, and I just left a little white edge in some places. You could also use your color lifter if you wanted to. Okay, so you get the idea. And when you use your blends, you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself or the inks won't blend as well. Let's go back in here and kind of make this one a little bit darker. Colored these on 2 different days, So it's kind of funny to me. You kind of color differently each time you come to it. Okay? So that's how, and I used Mango Melody for my inside. Of course, any yellow or orange would work. And then in your kit also, from the DSP again, I liked these leaves better than the stamp that came in the set. The stamps in the stamp set are just really narrow. So I cut you each a little cluster of 3 leaves, and I colored those with the dark Granny Apple Green and the light Granny Apple Green. And I usually do the dark one first, just do all these veins. And then you can come in with the light while it's still kind of wet and just kind of blend that out and take it to your edges. Okay? That's how I did that. And you can always go back over, make something a little darker, do it to your taste. Okay? So that's how those are colored. In your kit, I gave you a strip of cardstock. Oh, let's go back. I want to show you to color your designer series paper for the front of your card. You would do that before you attach it. Oh, I just dropped all the stuff out of my card. We'll check if I've got everything in a minute. So to color your designer series paper, a lot of people like things black and white, and you could leave your paper just like that. Or with your blending brush, you can come in here, swirl some color. And what I did on mine was I started darker, and then I took it out here to the edge, and I left kind of this upper right quadrant alone. And see how that just adds a little bit of coloring to that and just makes it look completely different. And that's what I did on my card here. So see the Bermuda Bay, and that's using these blending brushes. I really do like these for coloring. Okay, in your kit you had a strip of paper that was to do the always with. That is actually stamped on white cardstock with white cardstock background. And getting out the Stamparatus again, I don't know if Teresa Graves is on here, but I told her today I was going to demonstrate using the Stamparatus. She is thinking of becoming a demonstrator. Wanted to know what to get in her kit, and I told her about the Stamparatus, and this is one of the many great uses for it. I've got my strip in here up against the corner, and I had placed my stamp on the paper where I wanted it, and then I closed the lid to pick up the stamp. Okay? The little magnet makes sure that I stay in place. Is all of this on camera, Mr. Mike?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And another little tip, it helps if you put a stamp case underneath the door. It's perfect height for getting this inked up. And I'm going to show you in a minute what's so nice about using the Stamparatus for something especially like this. Now when we close and stamp, you kind of press. It looks very light the first time, and look, I have a little bloop there, which is on the W. I noticed that before. So I'm going to take my fingernail. There's something on there. And there's some on the A. My goodness, what got on my stamp. Okay, but that's what's nice about this. Now I can come in here again.
I've been up here stamping while you're sleeping, so that probably messed it up.
Oh, you shouldn't play in here without permission, Mr. Mike.
Okay.
There. See how it's getting darker? And you could even do it a third time just to really make it. To me, it made my original card look like I had just used the Always Die and did it out of Bermuda Bay cardstock, which you could do that as well. But I wanted to show how you can really get some depth in your color.
So why do you need a Stamparatus? Why can't you just do that with a regular stamp?
Good question, Mr. Mike. That's awesome. Because if you have a loose stamp here, there is no way you're going to be able to line it up. Whereas because this stays in position on the Stamparatus, you can close this door as many times as you want, and the ink is always going to line up.
I'm not going to get a shadow.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Whereas if you tried to do that with your own stamp, yeah, you'd have a mess. So anyway, I wanted to bring that out to show you.
I need to buy one of those.
You need to have one of those. I'll let you use mine.
Oh,
But
thanks.
those that are watching definitely need a Stamparatus.
Oh, okay.
So then you would use the die to cut out the word always. And then you also have a strip of paper to cut out the background for the always. Let me set this aside now. Okay. So here's your strip. Go ahead and stamp 2 flowers, and this is the Forever and then this was your strip of paper that we just did. I had it labeled for you, the Always with Bermuda ink. Again, if you don't have Bermuda ink, just use a color that you have. And then here's my Always. I went ahead and put one together. And then I included the 3 leaves that you'd color again. And so when you put the card all together, it will look like this. And here I did start to use, I wanted to show you the Forever and in your dies gets cut out with the medium-sized banner right here. So they have a small one, a medium one, and a bigger one right here. And the die cut just lines up and cuts that Forever and perfectly. And then here I started using our matte black dots. I put 2 up here in the corner, and then I put 2 of the larger ones down in this corner. And then inside, so Forever and Always together. And that's a stamp from the set as well. So let's put that one aside, and we'll go to our third, which is the treat box. I am so excited about these treat boxes, Mr. Mike.
Are you really?
Yes, you could put jewelry in them. You could put Jordan almonds in them. You could put jelly beans in them. You could put chocolates from See's Candy. Hint, hint, hint.
Okay.
For Valentine's Day.
Okay.
See's Candy. That's S-E-E-S. You
How
can
about
order it.
Dog treats?
You can order it online. No, we're not making these for the dogs. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Even your dogs?
No. They can't have chocolate, Mr. Mike.
Oh.
So here's the treat box. They're sold in the mini catalog on the same page with all of this Forever and Always sweet. And they come just white. Let me grab you one so you can see. It comes with the top and the box bottom, which looks complicated, but I'm going to show you how to fold that. Then I wrapped it with more designer series paper from that True Love. And I again used my blending brush on the entire strip of paper, which I'll do here for you in a minute. This is the heart die that I told you from that other set, that I included that, and I also put several of the black hearts in your bag. You can glue those on. It kind of shows it up more. And then I used the heart punches that are in the annual catalog to punch out my 2 metallic hearts, which I went ahead and did for you in your kit. You should have a black strip of paper for the love, and then you can also use your dies to punch out. I punched out 4 of the Rococo Rose and 4 of the Blushing Bride heart, flowers here. I attached them with glue dots and then took the black matte dots and put on top of each flower. You'll have a little banner strip that you can stamp the You More, so Love You More. And this is the metallic ribbon in this suite as well. It is just gorgeous. It really glitters and shines. I don't know if you can see on camera. Can you see how shiny that is? And you could actually, use the other side too. It's a beautiful Blushing Bride. This is Blushing Bride color. And I included that in your kit as well. In your kit, I included 2 pieces. One is longer. You'll use it for this little pull tab if you want, and then the shorter piece for this. So let me get mine pieces out here, and I can show you how to put this together. Do I have another? Yes, I have a brush with the Blushing Bride ink on it. And I'm just going to do this super fast because I'm afraid we're running out of time. But I'm just going to go back and forth over the paper. And you can do this as light or as dark as you want. Get you some kind of ombre going or dark streaks going. This one's going to be really light, guys. Maybe my ink pad's running out of ink. But isn't this a fast, easy way to color? I just love it. You could actually complement with another color if you wanted. Rococo Rose you could add to this. Yeah, guys, I think my ink pad might be a little bit out of ink. Okay, but you get the idea. All right, I'm going to set that aside. Now we're going to fold our boxes. The lid is real easy. You're just going to take this like this. There, that one's ready. Easy. Now the bottom of the box is a little bit different. You will fold on all of your score lines. If you've been in my classes, you know that we always fold the score line so that the bump or the mountain is on the inside. So you can go ahead and fold on all the score lines. Am I in camera view, Mr.
You
Mike?
are.
Okay. And then that's going to go that way. Okay. And
Bring
here.
it a little bit towards the B.
Okay, there we go.
There you
All right, you're going to fold your two sides in. These tabs first will go to the inside. This is where you kind of need 3 hands, but you can make it work. No, not Mr. Mike's hand. That won't work at all, Mr. Mike. Okay, let me get this folded back so you can at least see. Okay, so your tabs are all to the inside, and then you take your sides up and over those tabs and bring that down to the bottom. Get in there. And then this one, same thing. Both tabs are to the inside, then the side piece comes up and over, and then that last little tab there folds to the inside on the floor of the box as it would be. And then you're going to bring this one that has the little slot in it down, and same thing, it kind of snaps it all in place, okay? This one is meant to go down inside the box. You're going to pull that, and then see how it has a little tab? That's going to fit down in the bottom into that little slot, and then it covers up all of those side tabs.
Who in the world thought about all that?
Isn't that neat?
Goodness.
So if you end up with a strip here on the inside of your box, take it apart again and put it back together so that the last one you fold in has that little tab on it, and it will cover all of that work up. I think that's really cool. Now we're going to wrap our box with our paper. So I put the box together. That should just, and it's a tight fit, slides together. And then I did not score this for you because, you know, who knows, your box may be just slightly different. But how I cut this is 4, is this 4 1/8? I think this is 4 1/8 by 10 1/8, yes. And you're just going to hold this down here, and I've got it on the box where it came together, where the box top came together. And you would just do this, and with your fingers you can fold that over that, then take it across the top or bottom, if you will, and crease that kind of with your fingers. Go around, crease here, and then back around. Now you want to end up, I did do that right. So our first piece, by having it almost lined up to the bottom, but not quite, it's right where the box top ends. And then when you end up, this will come perfectly to that bottom edge, which to me, you can't tell where it started and ended. So then you would take your green and white glue and glue this on. And for me, I like to get near the edges really well so that you won't have loose paper, okay? So you get your box glued together like this. The inside still pushes out, okay? I did not include in your kits the tabs. So see, if you had the box like this, you're going to have 2 white ends. And it would look nicer if you put the ends on it. And sometimes it even matches up, which is a fluke, but very nice. If you want ends on your box at home, since I didn't give you these little pieces, it was an afterthought, the end pieces measure 2 5/8 by 1 1/2. And that will keep your pieces small enough. Here, I have some cut here. That will keep your pieces small enough. You don't want them to hang over, because then when the mechanism of the box slides in and out, it's going to curl your paper up. In fact, I've got one corner here that's already coming apart because as it gets pulled through the box, it gets hit. Okay? So on these, the measurement I just gave you, 2 5/8 by 1 1/2, and then believe it or not, Mr. Mike, you're going to cut a 1/16 of an inch off.
Wow.
The long side and off one of these sides. And guys, if you've got the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, do not fret. The 1/16 that you're going to cut off, is this in camera, Mr.
Yeah.
Mike? Okay. The 1/16 you're going to cut off is just, do you see where the cutting slot is? And then there's dark, what color do you call this? Dark brown? a 1/16 of an inch is just butted up against that white. So see, just that much is a 1/16 of an inch that you would then slice off.
I tried to zoom in, but I couldn't do it.
Okay. So what I'm saying, just cover up this dark piece and cut, and that will be your 1/16 of an inch. So you would cut a 1/16 of an inch off this edge and off of the long edge, and then this will fit on your box so that it's small enough, and you get it centered on there, that it won't pull through the box and pull your piece off. So before we do our hole here, I'm not gonna glue this down for you guys to see, but I am going to glue this one on my box because I'm going to show you what's next. So I'm just going to go around my edge, close to the edge. You don't want to end up with a gluey mess. And it doesn't take a lot of glue, guys. See how thin I'm putting that on there.
Why don't you use your taper?
When you're doing paper to paper adhesive, the runner that we usually use is great, but once you're working on a project and you're taking paper to your project, you want to use this white glue. This is kind of like wallpaper glue, and it will really create a strong bond, and this green-white glue bonds really quickly. You even have a little bit of time that you can wiggle it around, and then once it adheres, it's like wallpaper glue. It's on there. Okay, so there's my end, and the reason I do that, we're going to open up our box. I'm going to give you the measurements, and I have them on your sheets. You're going to punch a hole in the end of the box bottom. I'm going to take the top off. At 1 3/8 and 3/4 of an inch. So here's my ruler. We're going to go over 1 3/8. Grab my pencil. 1 3/8 from the edge, and I'm going to kind of try to be about halfway here. 1 3/8, so it's right before the 1 1/2, 1/8 of an inch before 1 1/2. Make you a little mark, and then 3/4 of an inch this way. So right here is our mark. Okay, and you could just eye this if you want to. Now, many of you probably have this tool. This is called a crocodile. Love it, and I'm using.
Looks like a dog toenail clipper.
It looks like some sort of surgical instrument, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
So it's when I press it, you see there's a smaller thing getting ready to cut, and here's a bigger one. I used the bigger one. So we're going to come down on the inside of this box. What did I do wrong? What am I doing wrong?
You want to be on the end of the box?
Yes. I thought on my first one when I made this, Mr. Mike. It does. Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay. You have to put it in this way. Duh. Okay. We have to put this little guy in here. That's where he punches at.
That way.
And line that up. What?
Move back that way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Mike's trying to keep me on camera here. And you can see where it starts to come out, and you line that up with your hole that you put on there. And then you're just going to squeeze this, and it punches your hole. And I mean, it punches through the cardboard, your DSP, and everything perfectly. All right?
It removes teeth in the...
You could remove some teeth on this. Okay. Then I used my longer piece of ribbon, and I gave you extra on this. And I'm on camera, so here we go. You're going to fold the ribbon in half, and I've got pointed ends here. You can thread one at a time through the hole. Let's get this so you can see. I'm going in through that hole, grabbing it from the inside, then pull it over.
Thread the needle.
We're threading the needle with ribbon, so it's really thick, but this does work easily. Okay, get that in there and pull your ribbon and get it so that it's, there we go, like that. See that much? Then I'm going to take my scissors and cut this way down. I used a really long piece for me on camera. Didn't need this much.
Waster.
I know, waster again. Waster of product again. And then you need your glue dots and your scissors. Sometimes I use my scissors to transfer glue dots. You just get your glue dot on your scissors. And then you're going to bring these extra tails, if you will.
They can't see what you do.
Where do I need to be?
Right
Can
there.
you see?
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Then you're going to bring your little scissors with your glue dot on there. Put it behind that ribbon. And pull your scissors out. That's going to hold that ribbon there.
Isn't that cool?
Isn't that amazing? And then, of course, you do the same thing on the other side. I won't take up more camera time for doing that. And then you've got a little pull tab here for your box.
Nice.
You like that? Okay. So for the top of the box, once you've got it decorated, let me pull in my... I gave you a little baggie of goodies in there. Your ribbons were in there. I don't think I cut myself some extra metallic hearts, people. Oh, I did this for the inside of the box. So I had the measurement on your sheet. You would put glue all inside here. This way when they open up their box, Mr. Mike, and you could color this with the ink and your blending brush. Put this inside your box, and when they open their box, it'll have a nice bottom to it and not be just a white blank box. Isn't that cute?
That's special.
So you could color that with your blending brush as well. Okay? For the rest of the top, you'll have 2 metallic hearts cut, and I tried not to touch them. Try not to touch them while you're putting them. Don't try to touch the foil on the top because it gets kind of messy with fingerprints. And I just used green white glue to glue it on top of my hearts. And then this is the Blushing Bride heart on top. Glued my love on top. Did my flowers, which I ran through the die that comes in the set. It's a really cute little set of flowers. It's a little cluster of flowers right here, this one. Am I in camera, Mr. Mike?
Yep.
Okay. And then I just took the smallest ribbon here, put a glue dot right there so that this becomes a tab also, or a little loop. And I lifted up after I had my glue on here, lifted this up and just tucked it underneath. So we've kind of got a busy box front, but I think that looks very cute. And you can put whatever you want in it. Like I said, these boxes come in a set of 10. I think they're $9 for a set of 10. I could be wrong on that. But those are the projects for this month. And I hope you've enjoyed watching the videos. I wanted to show you a few cards that I made extra using this same set, just so you could get some other ideas. I had a regular mat, 4 by 5 1/4, black mat. And then I took these, measure 1 inch wide by 3 7/8. I remembered. And then I glue your first one on and your last one on. And then do your middle one, and you should have the right spacing for these last 2. This is a heart die from that other set I was telling you about that's in the current annual catalog. Used more black matte dots here. The love. And I did another tab with some ribbon that I already have. And I made that card. I did the same card with the Blushing Bride background. And then jumping back to the chicken set real quick, I wanted to show you a few sample cards with this one. So this is one of the little chicks peeking in. This card was actually done back in 2017 when I attended Becky Roberts. She's a good friend of mine. She lives in Idaho, and she had an Inking Idaho on the road, and we made this card, and this is actually even a shaker card. So I went, and not only did I attend the Inking Idaho on the road, she also had me present this card. There were probably 200 people maybe at this event, and I got to present this, showing people how to do masking with the chicks, and I still had one of my sample cards, so I wanted to get it out and show it to you. We'll be coming up with some new, fun, different cards when we do the birthday set, and I'm looking forward to using the dies that they have incorporated with these sets. So I hope you'll tune in for that. I hope you'll let me know that you want to order the chicks. I'm going to do all of the ordering, making sure that I can get them on their way to us before I charge you for them. I don't want to take the money for them if I can't get a hold of them. So thank you for watching, guys. I'm glad you tuned in. If you have any questions about your kits, just let me know, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.